I'm going to say 49%. And the reason why I go 49%, because if I go 50%, then that means it could go either way. I lean more on the side of he's not going to come back. I truly believe with the brilliance of the career that Tom Brady has had, I don't think he pump fakes in this scenario. I think he may get seduced at moments to possibly, oh, can I help this team? Or, oh, I could help that team if they needed some assistance. But I just think that the level of accomplishment that Tom Brady has had during the course of his career and all of the opportunities that are out there for him post-career, I don't think he says he's retiring with the intentions or the thought process of indecision and the possibility of returning back to the game, even though I do believe he will not close the door definitively. I say 49% because I think he's more opt to not come back versus to come back.
I'm saying 0%. If it means coming back and playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, then if I'm going to take Bruce Arians and Jason Light at their word that they're not going to trade him, then there's 0% chance. Because what I'm reading through all of this in all of these comments is that the questions, the reports about the fracture between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians were legit. They cannot have been happy that Tom Brady, or that the news of Tom Brady coming out and retiring, that they were unaware of that. And that was their reaction. We haven't been told. No organization, no coach, no GM wants to find out any news about their player from social media. And that's exactly what happened. And now they're put in a position where they're carrying 4 quarterbacks, and the competition for starting quarterback is Kyle Trask and Blaine Gabbert. Good luck with that. We're going from Tom Brady to that. So there's no way they're happy about this. And I know that Bruce Arians is saying that his relationship is fantastic with Tom Brady, and maybe they'll play golf together and he'll kick his ass, and the bet will be if I kick your ass, then you're going to come back and play. There's a big I'm surprised if the relationship was good, they would have already gone and played golf. Like, the idea that, hey, maybe I'll go play golf with him is a lot different than I'm going to play golf with him or I have played golf with him. And here's the reality. Bruce Arians took a hit when those rumors came out from Rich Ohrnberger, the former Chargers guard, about the fracture in their relationship. That could have easily been cleaned up by Tom Brady saying, there's no truth to it. That's not why I retired. Bruce and I are great. I don't know about you guys. I haven't heard anything from Tom Brady on that front. And if I'm Bruce Arians and I'm trying to fight that impression that I ran off Tom Brady, I could use a solid from Tom Brady saying that, hey, that wasn't the reason that I retired. And the silence is deafening. So everything that Arians is saying, bad business, we're not going to trade him. If we did, it would be 5 first-round picks. Doors always open. But, hey, you know what? Tom Brady wasn't the only one that got us a Super Bowl win. Like, all of that paints a picture to me that Bruce Arians, I mean, wouldn't be surprised if his meeting with the reporters, that he was talking through his clenched teeth, because there's no way I'm buying that Bruce Arians is happy with the way things ended with Tom Brady.
It's pretty wild, Rick. It took 3 days, but we finally agree on something, right? I'm with you. The chances of Brady returning in Tampa, 0%. But I'm also kind of with LaVar. I'm going to split it here. I think if he waits a year, now I know that puts him at 46 years old, could Tom Brady return elsewhere? I think there's certainly a chance. I'm with LaVar about 49%. But, Rick, I mean, you were spot on here, right? Well done. You know, it took 3 days for you to nail something, but you got this one. Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, they did not really get along. And in addition to the Ohrnberger stuff, there was a quote yesterday from Bruce Arians at the Combine. I don't know how this didn't make the rounds, but he's quoted as saying, Tom got all the credit. A lot of guys had a hand in the pile. This wasn't all just Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl. And, you know, I do this thing at home with the wife. I'm sure LaVar, Rick, you guys probably do this as well. I like credit when I do something. You know, I'm going to take out the trash. I kind of like to announce that I'm going to take out the trash. Or I'm going to make the kids' beds or do something. I like credit for doing something around the house. And me and my wife joke around. You want credit all the time. I think, guys, this is Bruce Arians saying, I need some of that credit for the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, yeah, he's the GOAT. Great. We miss him. We're going to move on. We do have Kyle Trask, the Florida great, the Florida legend, and maybe Blaine Gabbert. I mean, Rick, have you heard the hype for Blaine Gabbert from Bruce Arians? Like, it's a little over the top. He's, like, excited about Blaine Gabbert. The only one outside of Blaine Gabbert's family excited to see him play quarterback next year. It's just a little odd how, like, gruff Bruce Arians is. And I will say this. He's an old school guy, right? And, you know, this was kind of his chance to win a Super Bowl. He got it. And all anybody's talking about is Tom Brady. But to LaVar's point, is there a chance Tom Brady somehow in a year weasels his way to San Francisco or back to New England? I don't know. Is there a shot in Las Vegas with Josh McDaniels? Again, I'm not taking anything off the table, and this is why. LaVar, you remember Michael Jordan retired from the NBA. He was gone for a few years, returns in Washington with a sweetheart deal. No. You know what that did for the NBA and ratings? Massive. They loved it. We're now at the end of the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady era. Ben Roethlisberger's done, Eli Manning, all the guys who won a bunch of Super Bowls. You don't think the NFL would love Tom Brady to come back at 47 and give it one more shot in 2 years somewhere in parts unknown, LaVar? Come on, the NFL would love that.
It's a possibility. I mean, I won't rule that out, but I think you guys are overstating the relationship aspect of Arians and Brady. And just to address the Orenberger situation, you know, that's Tom Brady's former teammate. They were teammates in Boston,
right?
For the Patriots. A.Q. Shipley is a former teammate of Rich Orenberger and is in the Tampa community. So is Donovan Smith, a Penn Stater, connected to this team. There are multiple sources that could possibly be the reason why Orenberger was able to get such deep notation of what took place or what's possibly taking place, unfolding between Tom Brady and Bruce Arians from an inside perspective. So I give it all the relevance and credibility in the world if Rich Orenberger came out and said it. I'll start there. But then secondly, even if there's discord between a player and a coach, this is the pros. And we're talking about Tom Brady, who has been in the league for over 20 years. So at this point, Tom Brady understands business versus personal. Just because I don't have a personal liking or a personal relationship with you doesn't mean that I can't have a business relationship with you. I think once those things were weighed out by Tom Brady and his camp as to what the business relationship represented in this scenario, it did not add up to him coming back and playing the game for another season, even after saying he wanted to play till he was 45 years old. So to me, the 49% really is it's semantics, really. Once he made the decision to say, I am done, I'm going to spend time with my family, they matter, I'm losing time. I made the point not too long ago, until you see your child go from looking like a baby to a person, they've turned into a person. It's like, wait, you were just running around in diapers, and now you're talking about, hey, Dad, like, what are we doing today? Like, are we going to the golf course? It starts to weigh on you. You look at your wife, you look at your kids. Those things begin to weigh on you because you have not been there. You have been a football player. For what it's worth, if you're going to be as successful as Tom Brady has been, you're a football player first. You're not a husband first. You're not a dad first. You're a football player first. So to be at this point in his career and have accomplished all the things that he's accomplished, he's weighed out and he's measured out all of the possibilities of what it looks like to play. If I wanted to come back, if I did wait to come back, I don't think he pump fakes in this scenario. I think he means what he says. He wants that time with his family. And I think he has a ton of opportunities out there that will suffice for him moving into this next chapter of his life. I just don't think that he takes a brilliant career and kind of diminishes it or risks it for what? To come back and do what? What's the ultimate reason to come back? Why?
To win. Well, why would he not come back?
He's already done enough of that.
You think he wants to go out with a loss, LaVar?
He's already
Final game at home to Matt Stafford?
He's already done enough winning. He's already done enough winning. Matthew Stafford beating him in his last playoff game does not define anything about what his departure from the game represents.
Yeah, I would agree.
LaVar, you sound a lot less than 49%. You sound a lot closer to 0%.
I mean,
49%.
Again, I gave 49% to make it interesting.
Actually,
yes, you're right. You're right. I don't want to say 0% because there's always a chance.
Never say never.
You never say never. That's why I said 49. 49 is like a cool number, you know?
That's a lot.
That's
a
high.
lot. That's.
But it's on the other side of 50-50.
I mean,
50-50 means it could go either way. So I just figured for the sake of television, I go 49.
But I don't think it can go either way. And I hear you guys about taking a year off and then being a free agent and being able to play wherever he wants. But LaVar made some very good points about wanting to be a dad and wanting to enjoy that part of his life. And look, there's two ways this goes when a professional athlete retires, especially at a certain age. They get a year off and their body starts to feel better and they're like, hey, you know what? Maybe I got something left. Maybe I could go back. And then they start to train to get ready to go back. And they have to go to training camp and it's like, oh, damn, this hurts a little bit more than I realized. I got a longer way to go. And the other part is I got to experience what it is to be a husband and a dad and all those things. And do I really want to sacrifice all of that? And if we're talking about him going to another team, this idea, look, if he goes back to Tampa, he doesn't have to do training camp. He doesn't have to do off-season stuff. He doesn't have to do any of that because he already knows what's there. If he's going to a different team, he has to be involved in all of that because he's got to get up to speed with his new coach and his new team and his new teammates. And again, because of all that, because a year later, climbing that ladder again would be just, at his age, would just be too much. That's why I think it's 0% that he changes his mind and comes back and plays with the Bucs this year, and that's really the only option. Again, Brooklyn Nets said they were never trading James Harden, and a week later they did, so things can change. But I'm going to take Bruce Arians and Jason Light at their word that they're not going to trade him. The only option for this season
I need to give you two numbers. Two numbers real quick. Tom Brady led the NFL with 5,300 yards passing, led the NFL with 43 touchdowns, okay? This isn't Peyton Manning at the end in Denver, totally shot throwing for 120 yards in the Super Bowl. This is a guy who was nearly the MVP of the league, okay? I mean, I know this is going to sound silly, but Tom Brady at 47 is still probably going to be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Are you going to dispute that? Like,
no.
The guy's been at the top of the league for 2 decades.
Jason, J-Mac, you're missing what made Tom Brady great. Tom Brady didn't play for statistics. Tom Brady didn't play to be a top 10 quarterback. Tom Brady played to win Super Bowls. And if he can't win Super Bowls, and if he can't be a driving force in winning Super Bowls, then Tom Brady's not interested.
Who's to say he can't win a Super Bowl? What do you mean?
It can look great to you and everybody else.
Anywhere he goes, he's going to be a Super Bowl contender. He left New England, went to Tampa, which hadn't won jack squat in a decade. They were under 500 for pretty much a decade.
That team was primed to win.
Oh, you don't think Tom Brady can find another team primed to win in a year, Rick? Is it really out of the realm that he could say, these guys have a great offensive line? Well, it's not there yet. He's got a year. He's got a year to let it marinate.
It could be. There's the possibilities of injury taking place. One of those just type of deals where he could fall into the right situation. He is still talented enough to be a driving force to win a Super Bowl. But I think where I side with you on this, Rick, is why deal in the unknowns? Like, what team is that? Well, what is the dynamic of that team? Yeah, they look good. On paper, they're winning. They have an opportunity to be a Super Bowl contender. But what does that mean to me? How does that apply to me? Because you still have to go in there for all the GOAT talk and everyone will reverence him and enjoy him. We're still having a conversation about discord between him and the coach of the team that he's just retired from. So keep in mind, it's not like you're going to a scenario and it's like, I 100% know what the conditions are going to be, what I'm dealing with, and how I fit into this scenario and this equation to assert myself to be that driving force. Those are a lot of unknowns. Why pump fake for those unknowns when you've had the type of career that Tom Brady has had?
I just let it marinate, Rick, listening to LaVar, and I have a team for you, okay? We know Tom Brady likes warm weather. His wife, Giselle, warm weather person from Brazil. Miami Dolphins. Hey, let's give Tua one more shot. We'll give him a shot this year. If it doesn't work out, we move on from Tua. The owner of the Miami Dolphins happens to be Stephen Ross, a Michigan graduate who is very close to Tom Brady. Michigan men joining forces. Now, I know the Miami offensive line has been bad. Hey, guys, fix it. Figure it out.
Go
We
to-
got a
go to
couple
Miami
of skill
and not
position
Tampa Bay.
players.
Wait.
Miami's a great city for Tom Brady.
Then go to Miami in the first place and not Tampa Bay.
Well, maybe Miami's not available right now.
I don't know.
Okay, but here's the thing. If he wants to go to a warm place, he can go to Brazil. He can go to Miami. He doesn't have to play for the Dolphins
all
to
of
go to
them places
Miami.
now.
Like,
Are 45,000 people
and
cheering for Tom Brady for touchdowns in Brazil?
Probably so, and he's probably he's probably kicking it into the net. He's getting a goal differently. I'm just saying. And there's probably a lot of people that'll be there cheering for him because he is the GOAT.
when we looked at the Buccaneers, we looked at them as a team that was primed to go someplace because all they needed was a quarterback. And when you brought Tom Brady in, you knew you were going to get Rob Gronkowski. You knew you were going to get Antonio Brown. You got guys who either wanted to stay or go there because of Tom Brady. The equation has changed now. You're not getting that same element in going to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins aren't primed to go play for a Super Bowl. And you mentioned you made the comparison to Michael Jordan going to the Washington Wizards. First of all, the NFL doesn't need ratings, and they got plenty of young quarterbacks that are going to light the lamp. They don't need Tom Brady coming back. Their ratings are not in trouble by any means. So I don't see that the NFL really needs Tom Brady to come back. But the other part of that is that what's the value for him at this point?
Yeah.
What was the value for Michael Jordan when he went to the Washington Wizards?
To get
Ego.
Like, we dismissed that.
And
like,
by the way,
we didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see Michael Jordan with the Washington
lot of other
Wizards.
people did, Rick.
I
You
don't
were
want
the
to see
minority.
Tom
That's
Brady
clear.
with the Miami Dolphins.
Well, here's the other reason. Remember, Tom Brady left New England. There was a shroud of mystery. Did him and Belichick really not get along? There was the cryptic stuff on social media. You go to Miami, Rick, in a year. You're now playing Bill Belichick twice. You get to stick it to him again if you're in Miami. And again, you asked for a team. I'm giving a scenario. Tom Brady takes a gap year, gets to be a dad full-time for a year. Enjoy that, yeah. And then you go back to the NFL. Go back to Miami.
That sounds
win a
crazy.
bunch of games. Listen,
And then
LaVar,
that's
you
a
gave
hell
it
of a-
49%.
that's a hell of a dad.
That's crazy. Hey, look, and as far as Michael Jordan, by the time MJ went to Washington, that was more. Michael Jordan is a brand of brands. There might be people that know Michael Jordan tennis shoes and might not even know who Michael Jordan is. As scary a possibility as that is, that's a possibility that exists in 2022. By the time Michael Jordan went to the Washington Wizards, he was a brand. That's now you're talking about making a move. What he ultimately ended up being is the owner of a team. I mean, I think that was more of a business decision for Michael Jordan to go to Washington versus winning a championship. Now, if Tom Brady wanted to go to a team and wanted to win and have an opportunity to buy the team, Denver Broncos, primed to win a Super Bowl, yeah, they're pretty good. Personnel, yep, got young receiving core, good talent, yeah, got a running. Denver exists.
Tough
Maybe
division.
that's why there's a 49%. And there's always the possibility that there could be ownership groups that come together and end up, getting Denver. But if that's not the case, then I don't look at it just being purely plays, X's and O's, winning a Super Bowl. I do not see those being a driving force and a catalyst for Tom Brady to want to continue to play.
One quick note, Rick, to address LaVar's brand play for Jordan. Are you guys familiar with TB12? Rick, I know you're ordering a lot of water off TB12, and LaVar
That's
tells me
not a Jordan brand.
Of course it's
You're not going to compare
Of course it's
TB12.
not.
brand.
You're not
It's
going
a
to compare
brand. It's a
TB12 to
burgeoning
Jordan
brand. Can we say it's an emerging brand? The guy's connected with people throughout the industry. He's trying to be this health and wellness guru, also a quarterback. I mean, listen, South Florida's not a bad place to operate that business, Rick.
Yeah. Yoga mats versus all of the Jordan apparel.
There you go.
Yeah. I got
Not the
nothing.
best comparison.
Listen,
but J-Mac, I like the reach. It's a good reach.
it's not bad.
The arm came up a
No, it's
tad bit
not.
short.
No, it's not.
It came up a tad
LaVar,
bit
thank you for
short.
the
LaVar,
pat
don't be
on the
nice.
back.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.